Today, we're talking about a mind-blowing innovation from OpenAI. They just released super fine tuning in GPT 3.5. We're going to tell you all about it and how it impacts your business. I'm Kip Bodner, CMO at HubSpot. I'm joined by my co-host, Kieran Flanagan, CMO at Zapier. This is Marketing Against the Grain. Let's get into today's show. Kieran, I am mind blown at what we are seeing here. We are seeing examples of super fine tuning that are happening in GPT 3.5 that OpenAI just released.
Yeah, they just released one of the most important features I think they have released since ChatGPT, because it's going to help to accelerate AI adoption within businesses. And this is this fine-tuning model, which allows companies to create an AI model tailored for their business. Whether you're a marketer, you can create it in the same tone and voice as your brand. If you're a developer, you can customize it to the language that you want the model to focus on. Like, it is actually an incredible move forward in terms of how we are going to accelerate adoption within companies. Really what companies are asking for is better security, less privacy risks, and actually being able to fine tune their model to their needs. Well, here you go. Fine tuning is out and live.
Kieran, what this means is that you can now do super fast, super detailed, granular tuning of a model for very specific use cases that are related to your problem, your business, right? And what they have found is that GPT 3.5 performs as well as GPT4 with this super fine tuning. And that is mind-blowing because we don't talk enough about fine-tuning, but in our work at HubSpot, fine-tuning has been everything to create great results with AI.
Right. Yeah, this is my favorite update.
Ooh, hot, a spicy take.
Because I think it's hugely impactful. So you should subscribe to this show, because months ago, we talked about the fact that the current LLM models are not going to suffice for where businesses want to go, which is a fine-tuned model for their business that operates within the confines of their business that they feel safe about using. OpenAI was always going to move to the enterprise. ChatGPT was originally was like a demo just to get data back. They were not purposely trying to move in the consumer space. That consumer space is hard. It gets commoditized fast, high churn, all of these things, low switching costs. The enterprise, I think, was always the play for them. The reason this makes a lot of sense is because businesses want to feel confident about a model that they can fine tune to their business, and then they can safeguard within the confines of their own business so their data is not getting out there. And this is a step towards doing just that. If you look at a lot of the research, a lot of the examples, I went hunting on Twitter yesterday, there aren't like incredible examples of people using it in the wild, but there's like some good feedback that when you fine tune a model, someone had to like fine tune it towards giving back specific like coding examples. So they added in a bunch of data around their operating model around coding, the code examples they wanted to have within their company. And it was like much better than the generic model. And the thing for the marketers, like the big thing for the marketers that you and I have talked about before, again, I think that the write-in apps and these kind of apps, they have a long way to go to be like ready to ship if you want to be in the upper echelon of content creators, if you want to be an original thinker. But they are great for building the building blocks. But the building blocks today are generic because they just grab the entire internet and create something generic from all of that information. But tomorrow, you can actually fine-tune the LLM on your content, on your tone of voice, on your imagery, on your videos, and it's going to be a better assistant to build the building blocks that are applicable for your brand. And I think this update has seismic implications for the future of how businesses build AI into their actual businesses.
Well, right. It basically means that a broad large language model can be very successful at very granular focused situations because of turbo fine tuning. And that's a game changer, right? Like, you could add all your colloquialisms, everything into the languages that you're focused on and and those specific terms that are related to your business, and make the quality of interaction 10 times better, right? And OpenAI, because they were an early adopter and leader in the large language model space, they have a lead on a lot of really important innovations, and super fine tuning is one of them. What we have found at HubSpot is like we built a model to answer like customer queries and help people who might have trouble using the software. And fine tuning and really giving that model highly granular data and examples and use cases of those products really increase the performance and the quality of answers to customers by like 10x. Like it's incredible. And so the fact that OpenAI is doing this is amazing. And I think people in the enterprise and business world are going to adopt this a lot. And second of all, Kieran, I'm just like, what happens when they release super fine tuning for GPT-4? Like GPT-4, I think, is amazing. With super fine tuning, it's probably going to blow our little minds open, right?
Right. Yeah. I think this is the horizontal vertical, because I made the case that I think that horizontal experiences are probably not going to be the experience that anyone gravitates towards. It's going to be vertical experience. And if you think about these experiences, they are vertical because they're an experience one-on-one to your company, right? So like you build a vertical bot from the horizontal model that's applicable for your business. And that makes much more sense. I think there will be versions, horizontal products, if they can actually become a de facto search engine and be a better search engine. But I do think that this is an example of like, hey, I want to take something that is foundational and then I want to build upon it and fine tune it to the needs of my business. And when I do that, it's going to be much more impactful. We're going to see AI adoption within companies. When you solve the privacy concerns, the security concerns, and the fine tuning, we're going to see adoption of AI within businesses accelerate. And I think that's going to be pretty incredible to see.
Yes. And I think if you're out there, you're using OpenAI in your business and you're using GPT-4, you might want to test 3.5 with super fine tuning. You might get a better output, right? Which is very antithetical to how everybody thinks. It's like, oh no, I want the newest one. It's got to be better, right? And that's not the case in large language models. Large language models largely depend on, well, how many tokens can I do? How can I fine tune it? There are a lot of other variables that are actually going to determine your success. So just don't opt for the newest model. Try a couple of different models, especially if you're an OpenAI user, you're using the API. Like, try both and see what the outcomes are going to be. I think that is one of our big lessons from the release of super fine tuning from OpenAI.
If you're listening to this show, you're like, wow, I can have an LLM model just for myself. I'm going to adopt AI much more rapidly across my business. This is the greatest day I've had to date.
Look, this has been one of the biggest weeks in AI in a long time. It's incredible. We are getting huge progress in new models, improving existing features of players like OpenAI, continuing to build and innovate really quickly. We are here for you. We're going to be back with more marketing, business, AI, news, commentary very soon on Marketing Against the Grain.
This data is wrong every freaking time.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform where everything is fully integrated.
Whoa, I can see the client's whole history, calls, support tickets, emails, and here's a task from 3 days ago I totally missed.
HubSpot. Grow better.